You find resurrection. You find your way home. Part 8. What if it's all true? What if everything you've just heard is true? What if the greatest cover up in Christian history wasn't about whether Jesus existed, but where he came from, what he looked like, and who was meant to carry his legacy? What if the real Jesus, the one who walked with the poor, stood against the empire and spoke in riddles, older than Rome, wasn't blonde, blue eyed, or carved from marble, but black? What if his skin was dark like the soil of Ethiopia? What if his hair curled like lamb's wool, thick with the dust of the desert? What if his tongue spoke not only Aramaic, but ancient Ge'ez? What if his earliest memories were of African landscapes, African lullabies, African wisdom? And if that's true, what else must be re examined? What does it mean for a world that has painted Christ in the image of its conquerors? What does it mean for cathedrals lined with European saints, when the Son of God may have looked more like the enslaved than the enslaver? What does it mean for black children who grew up feeling unworthy of holiness, when the holiest man to ever live may have looked like them? These are not theoretical questions. These are liberating questions and dangerous ones. Dangerous because if you follow the answers, they will change you. Let's step back for a moment and look again at what we've uncovered. We began with a silence, 18 missing years in the life of Jesus, absent from the Western Bible, left unexplained by pastors and professors. Then we found that the Ethiopian Bible, older than the Western canon and 15 books longer, preserves writings that fill in that silence. Books like Enoch Jubilees and the Gospel of the Hebrews, books that portray a Jesus shaped not by empire but by Africa prophecy and cosmic wisdom. We uncovered that Ethiopia never let go of this image. They never altered his skin tone, never redacted the divine mysteries, never trimmed down their scriptures to please Rome. We follow the oral traditions that claim Jesus returned to Africa in his youth, not as a refugee, but as a seeker, and that he may have been shaped by the same land where Moses found refuge, where the Ark of the Covenant is said to rest, where the Queen of Sheba once stood face to face with Solomon. We discovered that for Ethiopians, Jesus is not a European deity imported by missionaries. He is one of them, their brother, their Lord, their legacy. We explored how the church, driven by Rome's political needs, whitewashed not only the image of Christ, but his origins, his community, his teachings. And yet, despite every attempt